Hey folks, Jonathan here. I wanted to tell you about the mystery fire truck. In 1957, in a rural area here in North Carolina, a group of folks came together to discuss a volunteer fire department for their community. In 1958, the 50-210 volunteer fire department was formed. The reason for the name was that the station was located near the Highway 50 and Highway 210 crossroads, also known as McGee's Crossroads. One thing all fire departments need is a truck. 5210 decided on a shiny new 1958 Chevrolet with a Howe pumper unit. This truck was used for many years before being replaced with a C-Series Ford cabover, also using a Howe apparatus. Howe was founded in 1872 as a coach builder and built their first fire truck pumper on a motorized chassis in 1907. They were sold to the Grumman Company in 1978. I'm unsure of the events leading up to the present situation, but the 1958 Viking was liquidated. About 20 years ago, it was decided to try to find the 1958 Viking pump truck, since it was their first truck. And this is where I get pulled into the story. Someone happened to see the one I bought on a previous video, and I received an email from the fire department. They were thinking this was their missing truck.
Okay, so here's the truck that I was called about from the fire department, and the first thing they said was, we've been looking for that truck for 20 years. But I don't think this turned out to be the truck we thought it was. So the first thing, of course, they wanted to know, I think he emailed me and asked me how or where we found it at. And believe it or not, I had to get a hold of James Honeycutt, my buddy that I got it from. And this truck came about, I think it was like 4 houses down from the fire department. So it had been in that area for a long time. But for some reason, nobody knew it. And so on the video, they had seen the 5210 Community Fire Department and had seen it on the hood. So we was under the assumption that this was their first fire truck, the 1958 Viking in them pictures. But he said it was a front pump, so the pump would have been mounted on the front. And that was the first thing that threw me off of saying, well, maybe this ain't the right truck, something's not right. And he said, well, it was the only truck that they had, the only 58 that they had. Got to be the right truck or the right parts. So what we started out doing was the pictures that you see of the fire truck, there's a light on top with a siren, and I checked this one and there is holes there that had been fixed, but they looked like it was farther back. You know, there was something that was different on it. So we sort of didn't think that was right. And then if you look in the pictures also, there's 2 spotlights, one on each side, mounted at the top of the windshield. And I looked this over really well, inside and outside, and this has never been repaired. So there's never been spotlights on this truck, either side. So we ruled that out. So the next thing was, well, maybe they used the hood and the doors off of that fire truck onto this truck. But then we ran into more problems. If you look at the mirrors on the other truck, they mount farther down. Now, I checked this really good, and there's been no repairs done. These are not the doors that are in the picture. Also, the hood. If you look at the front of the hood in the pictures, there is a Howe emblem up here. And you can look on the outside and on the inside of this hood, and there has not been a emblem on the front of this thing. And I don't think this truck was ever painted red. It looks more like it was yellow. And I could be wrong, but I think this looks like more like primer with yellow over top. I don't know. It's hard to say. But you know, it's a weird situation. They do have 3 different locations now, but I don't know what year they started the second location. And I know it wasn't, you know, in 58 or around that, but maybe this was a truck from a different location that they bought used or something. This truck has got a really odd PTO on it. I've dealt with PTOs my whole life, and I've never seen a PTO like this one. Okay, instead of having a single shaft coming out with a, you know, where you would engage and disengage, a lot of PTOs, like for the old Wreckers, was a two-way PTO where you had a single shaft and then you had a lever that would change from forward, neutral to reverse, and you could operate a winch but using the clutch. But this PTO happens to have two shafts coming out of it, and I don't even know, I didn't look to see whether they rotate in the same direction or not, but it, you know, it did have something on this bed that operated PTO, whether it be a pump or, you know, something. But anyway, so this is the truck that sort of don't exist. Took the serial numbers and gave them to the fire department and have never heard anything back. They were gonna get see if they could get the state to run it and see where this thing was from, you know, why it, you know, it's a big mystery, I guess. So try to figure something out about the truck. Truck's in good shape, and it does have a 261. I thought I had a 230 when I got it, but I'm still learning just like everybody else. So let me see, I had to put the plastic pieces in for the headlights, and I went ahead and put new headlights in it. The truck really runs good. Somebody, like I said before I got it, went through the entire brake system, which is really odd on a 2-ton because it's expensive to do. And, you know, usually these trucks, the brakes don't work. Brakes work excellent on this truck. And he done a lot of work on the inside, cleaned it up, painted it. I think it's a new windshield, new rubber. Transmission works great. The emergency brake works great. No issues. I still need to tune it up. I did the carburetor, but I didn't do any points or plugs or anything in it. And it's got Champion plugs, and I'm not, you know, a big Champion fan in a GM product. But anyway, so he had set this up for pulling a trailer. He's got a trailer brake on it. He added in a cigarette lighter. Of course, no stereo. It's got the stereo delete. Redone the seat. And he painted a lot of the interior. It's actually a pretty solid truck, not bad at all. And the hitch on the back. Now here's the hitch that he added to the back of it. It's got the dual plug, the 7-pin and the flat plug, safety chains. Done a really good job on that. I'm not a fan of the bed at all. It's got a wooden bed with wooden cross members, and I think the bed really needs to be changed out on it. And my issue is if I set something that was really heavy up here, I don't think these tuba 5, tuba 6s, I guess they don't even look like true tuba 6s, but I don't think, and this one's cut down of course, but I don't think they would hold the weight out here at the side of the bed like they should. So I think this bed needs at least the cross members redone in steel, and it probably just needs another bed built and put on it. But for now it's fine for what we're hauling. But I would love to have been able to pick up that steam engine and set it on the back to move it just here on the property, but I'm too afraid of that bed. 14,000 pounds, and that wood don't really mix together. So anyway, if anybody knows anything about a truck that it's not supposed to exist, you can let me know. But anyway, all right, so appreciate everybody watching, and till next time, bye.